This is the Dawn Diaries. Here I share my insides the same I would in an online diary. Now it's time for your dose of Dawn.
You know what I was thinking the other day? I was thinking how I like hard to post things that don't include your photo. Like you kind of have to post like a audio clip and then like a photo like right next to it. Give your feed like that balance that it needs or whatever. Like where it's like your photo and like things that aren't you, because people always like selfies and photos of you the most, which is so annoying to me. But I kind of take it so seriously, like I look at it like from a business standpoint. It's really annoying when it stops being fun, but it was never fun to begin with. I don't like the fact that people like selfies the most. Like I wish people liked like other things like quotes or landscape, or people always like selfies, or like it just seems weird. And then it gets turned around and you get blamed for being a narcissist. You know what I mean? Like it's the weirdest thing. Like there's a lot of like Instagram models and girls that get called narcissists, but that's what their page is all about, like photos of themselves. And it's like, well, that's what people are looking for. It's like there's no winning, in other words. But I'm not trying to complain about it. It's just, it can get a little overwhelming. Like I've got so much content that I haven't even posted yet. Like it's just crazy. Like it's hard to get organized. I have like 4 podcast episodes and I've only previewed one in my Instagram. Is that I think I accidentally deleted the final cuts. So I have to re-download the damn thing to my computer, take like a minute audio clip from the podcast, and then paste it into like an editor where I could put the preview ahead of time. Like there's a preview that the app that I use to make podcasts does for your social media. So like they have one for TikTok, they have one for Instagram, they have one. So what I do is I'll take the freaking podcast clip and then I'll attach it to that thing, and it's a lot. Like, and then there's phone storage that I have. Oh my god. It's just a lot. It's a lot. You know how many damn times I've had to rehear the damn podcast over and over again? Like one time I had to do it because so I post the podcast on YouTube, but it's also on all the podcast apps, right? Version is on the podcast, obviously, because it's a podcast. But I also have it on YouTube because people love YouTube. So if they discover me by accident, they're like, oh, this is a podcast. So they'll go to the app and like, you know what I mean? It'll drive traffic. But the pain in the ass about YouTube is like if you want optimization, you have to like, it's a new thing on YouTube, like where you actually mark the times. So you go, 0.00 seconds is when the start of the video, 0.10 seconds is like the intro, and then a minute in you're talking about dating or career, 13 minutes in we're talking about relationship history, 15 minutes, like you mark the freaking time exactly. So if someone Googles you, this is for optimization. Oh, I need advice on dating or something. They can find that like based on the words that you. But if you drag the mouse on YouTube, on the video, like if you're trying to fast forward or pause it or whatever you're trying to do, like you're trying to speed it up or go back to what she said, you can see the times marked on the mouse, like the way I typed it in. Like you drag the mouse and it just hovers over and you'll see the time capsules, like that I marked personally, like we're talking about this now, So want to have the patience. Like say your video is about how to decorate or how to do feng shui in your house or whatever, and then we're like, say you don't want, I just want to do my kitchen, let me forget the freaking living room. You just drag the mouse to see where does she talk about kitchen. Say I'm Googling something very specific, like I already know how to shovel snow. Let me see where do I put the snow or whatever. And like, let me fast forward to the video. So someone on YouTube doesn't have the patience and they just want whatever they Googled, they can drag the mouse to the video and see what section. Sometimes like the videos in YouTube, they have the giant intro, like, oh, please like, please subscribe. They just want to get to the video. So if you have beginning of the lesson or something, you're like, oh, I like this page. Like, because they fucking mark the damn thing. So that's why it helps with optimization. Like, so I have to play the whole damn video back so I can get the right times. And then I play it back again for subtitles. Because the subtitles don't always catch you. Like, they'll say, oh, Dawn, and they'll say my name Don or something. All these things that they think I said in the subtitles. So I have to play that back again. The reason why I can't do that at the same time is because you can't do subtitles and the time. So it's a lot of like listening to the same freaking episode, and I'm like, this is so boring. No one's gonna like this after a while, because I'm like, but I have to remember that I've listened to my episode about 1 million times. So like every day I'm doing shit, every day. Yeah, I even have these things like where once I release it, I kind of have to like back away from the computer, and like I get kind of grossed out. Like I'm not one of those people who want to be seen necessarily. Like this is really outside my comfort zone, in other words, because there's a lot of people on TikTok who are like, let's say they're dog trainers, okay? And they love the attention of like having so much knowledge about dog training that they just love to put those videos out there. Like, they do it for their business, but you can tell by the personality that they also like putting themselves out there. I'm like the opposite. I don't like to be known. So as soon as I upload a video, I like get so like weird and like I just don't even want to show my face and like at all, or something. What it is, something like I don't want to hear the episode. I don't want to see how many plays I get. I don't want to see jack. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like so grossed out by like being so vulnerable and like shit that I said in the episode. Like, I'm just like so grossed out. Like, I'm like, I get over it because I have to move on and continue doing content, but like, it's just not easy. It's not easy. It's like one of those people, I think I said this before, but it's like one of those people who like have to, like when they go perform at a bar and they're finished, they don't want to do the VIP party. They just want to go home and be by themselves. Because I knew this guy who's a singer, he was a guitar player. He did such a good show, and he never wanted to hang out with us after the show. He just wanted to drink by himself. And I was like, why would he do that? And now I kind of get it. Like, I'm like, okay, like this makes sense. Because you do feel a certain way after you put yourself out there. Like, you're just kind of like, like, did this really happen? Like, did anybody like it? Did anybody care? Why do I care so much? Like, it's just gross. I feel gross because it's also a lot of egoic stuff. Like your ego is the only one who gives a shit about not being seen or being seen. Like, if you want to hide and you want to play small and no one sees you, like, that's so ego. Because like if you're out in nature and the trees are like, in the wind and they look beautiful and they're kind of performing for you. Like, that's nature performing. Like the birds singing and shit like that. And all that's really connected to God and everything else. And God does not care if you're watching the sunset. It's going to set every night whether you watch it or not. You know what I mean? So like, that's divinity expressed in the world. So if I'm coming from like a more God conscious state, I'm not going to give a shit if someone likes it or not. And I'm not going to give a shit if someone is watching or not. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just going to be myself no matter what it is. Like, put content out there and be creative, whether I get likes or I don't get likes or views or whatever. Like, because I want to, like, keep my ego out of it, but I'm still a human and I have these issues. Like, where it can feel like a lot, like like I don't want to do this, or I hate the episode, or you know what I mean, I changed my mind, I don't like it, you know what I mean, like but I beat myself up about that too. I'm like, oh God, haven't you learned a lot about the spiritual aspect of life? Like, why do you have to care? Why do you have to care? Why do you care if anybody cares or knows that you? Why? Like, stop caring so much. Like, I remember when I was at a meeting, and this meeting was in Zoom, right? And it was about emotional sobriety. So it could be anybody from AA or Al-Anon or like SLAA, or anybody from any program could go in there. So like these people, I don't even know these people, and I tell them I'm a sex worker, and I didn't always feel comfortable saying that in a meeting, you know? And I remember thinking like, why did I say that? And then I'm just thinking like, who cares, you know? And I'm like, but I don't want to care, you know? I don't want to care. And that's how I feel right now. Like, I don't want to care. Like, no one else, the truth is, no one else cares as much as I care. You know, everybody's thinking about their own shit, you know, and their own lives. Like, yeah, they might judge me, sure, but like at the end of the day, they're still really obsessed with themselves. Like, they're not thinking too much about my share at a meeting. And I have a lot to say about the subject, so I'm gonna do the podcast. And if the consequences aren't great, like, it's still my memoir, you know what I mean? Like, someone had to say it, and it had to be me, because there's only me to live. Like, it's my life that I lived, and like, what am I going to do? Wait till I'm 80 to do it? Like, I can do it now while I'm still, like, the only thing that I worry about the most is somehow getting arrested again from it or something. Like, oh, someone saw my YouTube thing, but I don't think you could get arrested for something like that. Like, because, you know, rap singers, like Tupac and like Biggie and all these guys, like they, like that culture, like if you were a studio gangster, that meant that you weren't in the game, like you weren't a gangbanger, like you were just a studio gangster. So it was more legit if you went out there and robbed people and rapped about it as it was happening. Otherwise, you're just a studio gangster, and you're kind of like basically a poser, right? So they never got arrested for those rap songs. Like, they can't arrest you for... They get arrested for the act, but they can't arrest you just because you're online. Like, as far as I know. But I do worry about that shit, you know? Like, because I haven't quit. It'd be different if I wrote a memoir and it's done. Like, no one's going to get me because... it's the past, but this isn't the past. Like, it's happening now. But there's a lot of girls who are activists and are sex workers, and that's their thing. I'm not an activist. I don't claim to be, but I'm just saying, like, there's girls out there that put their name out there, their real name. And then there's girls out there who are comedians. Like, I know comedians that are sex workers, and they do performances. So if they're willing to put their real name and they haven't gotten any law trouble, then I guess it's not that risky. It's not actually something I want to share. It's just that it's all I know. Of a podcast that would feel legit. My podcast was originally, because I wasn't in therapy. So I wanted to start a podcast just so I could feel like I was doing like therapy. I was going to do it by myself. But now my podcast has turned into like where other people are in it. But I was going to do it by myself, and I was just going to do like a therapeutic thing, like talk about life. But then I realized there was no way I could censor myself and leave that out. It just sort of turned into that. And it seemed like I had no choice in a way. Like, if I was going to do a podcast and it was going to be around mental health and shit like that, like it is who I am, you know? Like, there's no going around it. Like, there's no, like, I'm not passionate about the work, but I happen to do the work. This is my skill set. Yeah, because there's people like about like yogis and stuff like that. Like, they have such a brand about them that's so like wholesome, kind of yeah, like wholesome, like just evolved. Not really though, but that's what the brand is, right? Necessarily more enlightened than I am, but the brand is just so much cleaner with like, oh, let me put some, like Gandhi quotes and yoga poses in my Instagram. And then like the whole vibe is like all of a sudden a very chill, wholesome vibe. Because of what I'm talking about, like it just feels weird. Like it feels like I kept saying the word gross because it doesn't have that branding. Even though like if I were to talk to a yogi, I can't say we're not that different compared to mine. On a social media platform, it's just gonna look like I'm all fucked up. And I don't like that, you know? Misconstrued. I'm also very jealous. I'm very jealous that they get that pass because of their experience as yogis, right? It's like they get a pass of looking more put together than I do because of their experience versus my experience. Like my experience led me to a lot of spiritual insights, but it led me down a different route than say doing yoga or something. So like let's say someone talks like does a podcast on like meditations or something. Like, oh, let me guide you on a meditation. They're gonna seem way more enlightened because of their branding than shit that I'm gonna be talking about. You get me? Your mental health and like wellness and shit like that. My whole spin is gonna be like this girl is like she's just got issues. Like that's kind of like the vibe. That's just what my fears are. Like that I'm misrepresented, but it's based on the comparison to other people. You know what I mean? They're misrepresented too because they're not all like, clouds and blue skies or whatever it is, right? They're not like that, but their brand is. My brand is like it's like provocative and like yeah. Yeah, cuz I actually meditate every day. So I'm a daily meditator, but it's clashy with my other stuff. So yeah. Yeah. That was the thing also cuz I actually do music too and like um that was the thing that was always hard. Like they always wanted you to stick to a genre. Like what are you? Are you a Spanish singer? Are you R&B? Are you pop? Like make up your mind. I fucking hated that shit. Like they always want to box you in. Like that drove me crazy. Like yeah. Like I hate branding. It's so lame because it does limit you so much, like yeah, so like I thought about working an angle. I thought about working an angle about wellness, like the wellness community down the road too, but I figured cuz they say in YouTube like the most watched things are like car accidents and shit like that. Like on podcasts, it's like murder mystery. So that gives you a lot of information right there, like what people are looking for. It's like that hit, that charge. I love wellness and I love the wellness community, but there is a smaller audience for that. And because nobody knows who the fuck I am, I thought I would start with building an audience that captures the majority of people. And a lot of people want to know about escorts. And there's not a lot of podcasts about escorts. And it is like kind of that murder mystery car accident shit that people just have to know. Like, but I don't like the audience that much, like the people they attract, right? Like I'm not that interested. I like the yogis better, but for some reason I think unfortunately I'm like a little bit of both, like I have both of those sides to me, like so it's really hard to explain. I'm confused. So that's why it sounds kind of confusing because I'm confused, like how to play that. So, but anyways, I want to build an audience that's big, and then if I do eventually build another channel that's like on like like tips on like earthing and like sun gazing and like whatever, like and there'll be people who already know me and they'll be like, oh, this is cool, like she knows stuff like that or whatever. Like you never know, like or maybe not, maybe it has to start from scratch. Maybe it means nothing. But then it feels phony if I never mention the sex work at all too. Like say let's say I started with the wellness first, then I'm still hiding, the other stuff. Work is what led to the wellness. I was gonna go crazy if I didn't get better. Like if I continued down the escort route and I didn't get help, like I was gonna either drink, use drugs, or like kill myself basically. Had to like deal with traumas and learn meditation and develop a healthier lifestyle mentally in order to get my head on straight, because I was really down a path where the stress was too much. I couldn't do the job. Like I could do the job so much easier now because I have like this like better headspace for it. It's a strong person to do that kind of job. Like, because you have to deal with people who are misogynistic. You have to fuck people you hate. Like, it's the weirdest thing. Like, if someone's an asshole to you, like from the get go, you kind of have to learn how to problem solve and have sex with them right after. Like, it's the hardest thing. Like, these guys are like, they're intolerable, and you tolerating the intolerable, like, and I enjoy sex more than I ever did, despite of like not being attracted to them, physically or internally, like, it's usually both. So that's not easy, but it's gotten easier because of the wellness stuff. So I could have skipped to like, oh, look how better I'm doing. But how is someone gonna know, oh, how did she get better? Why did she do this? I feel like that part is, you can't skip over that. Maybe, I don't know. Somehow I somehow in my exploration of like starting YouTube channels and stuff like that led me to this first. I don't know. It was like a pool that I just went with. I was like, okay, let me just do this.
This is the end of the episode, and I'm glad you made it all the way here. Any website that I mentioned will be linked down below. Also, I have a Patreon page, which I will include episodes earlier. We're talking a few days to a day early. And if you want to sign up for membership, it'll just be a cool way to get ahead of the episodes that I'll be sharing with everyone. It'd be nice for members to join for, their own contribution and their continued support. Meanwhile, getting the earliest possible content. Reminder again to subscribe and to ring the bell for notifications. Thank you very much.